I bowed my homage before
Buenos
the Lords
dias.
of life and the Lords of death, receiving as my gift the key of life. Free
Good
was I
morning.
of the halls of Amenti, bound not by death.
O
but
genki
serving
desu ka? Ni hao
For to
ma.
the stars I journeyed until
Namaste.
space and time became as
Namaskaram.
naught. Then, having drunk deep of the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there found I greater mysteries, and was glad. For only in the search for truth could my soul be stilled, and the flame within be quenched. Down through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste of the cup of death and return again in the light of life. Gradually, from the kingdoms of Atlantis, past waves of
Okay,
consciousness that had been one with me,
I hope
only to be
everyone is
replaced
progressing
by a
along their
lower
path.
star. In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into flower, downward into darkness, turning
Throughout
the thoughts
history,
of the Atlanteans, until at last,
for
in
one
his
reason
wrath,
or another,
arose from his
humanity has
the
struggled
dweller,
of
the
conflicts,
word, calling the
most
power,
stemming from ideology.
deep in earth's heart.
Wars
The
and
sons of
division
Amenti heard,
resulted in the creation
hearing
and
directed
recreation of
changing the
religious
flower of fire that
doctrine.
burns eternally, changing and shifting,
Here we have some of
using
the
logos
major
until that great fire changed its direction. Over the world then broke the great waters,
the major
drowning and sinking,
symbols of the
changing earth's
four big
balance
religions
until only the temple
based
of light
upon the
was left standing
constellations.
on the great mountain of Undal,
To the left,
still rising
far
above
left,
the water.
in the form
Some
of
there
the
were who were
Forme,
left
a French cross
the rush of the fountains.
based
Called
on
to
the
me then
Orion
Master, saying,
system,
Gather ye together, my people.
from which we've had so
Take
much
them by the
strife
arts ye have
due to
learned
the
and far
Orion
across the
Wars.
waters, until ye reach the
The
land.
star systems where the
Bearing
reptilian Zeta
dwelling
Reticuli
caves
originate
desert.
from.
Follow there the plan that
And you
ye
see
know
the
of.
Taurus star
Gathered
system
I then my people
and
and
the
entered the great ship of the master. Upward we rose into the
Om
morning. Dark beneath
symbol
us lay the temple.
based on that star
Over it
system and the
rose the waters,
religious Hindu
vanished
faction.
until the time
Islam,
appointed.
Judaism,
was the great
so on and
temple.
so forth. Pleiades
Fast we fled toward the sun of the morning
and
until beneath us
Soul
lay the
One,
land of the children of Cap.
exoplanet,
Raging, they came with cudgels.
place of
and
human
spears,
origins.
lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone. Of the
Then
mountain.
we have a
Then
type
spoke
of
I to them in words calm and
schematic,
peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis.
as we
saying
discussed
we were children of the sun
previously
and its
with
messengers.
shamanism as the original spiritual technology of man. It's
Until at my feet they groveled.
shamanism is within you. It's so
Long
innate.
dwelt we in the land of Cap,
If
long
you
and yet long again.
were
until
to just
obeying
sort of
the commands of the master,
go out
who
into
was
nature
and yet lives
and
in
clear your
eternity,
mind
I sent
of
from
any
thee
kind
the
of
sons Atlantis, sent them in many
programming,
directions, that from the womb of time
you would naturally
wisdom
discover
was
shamanism and the
given
techniques of
virtually.
religious
Long time dwelt I in the land
spiritual
of Cap,
ecstasy
doing
based
great
upon the
works by
natural
wisdom
techniques of shamanism. It would come to you naturally. It's so innate to us,
watered by the rains of my
wired
wisdom.
into our
Blasted
build,
I
so
there
to
the
speak.
path to Amenti,
And then we have
so that I might
schematic
retain
continuing
my powers,
on.
living from age to age as son of Atlantis, keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. Great grew the sons of Cap,
Every book
conquering
on the Illuminati
people
has a
around them,
chart
growing
showing
slow
how
in
the
their hearts and soul
conspiracy, quote unquote, has developed
now
over
for
the
a time,
century.
I go from among them
Here's a
into the
summary
dark
of the
halls
links
Amenti,
suggested by the
deep
evidence
in
in the
halls
present
of the
book.
earth.
Regard it
Before
as
the
a
Lords
conspiracy
of
only if you
These
enjoy
ways
living in a
once
script
with the
where
dweller.
you are one of the
Raised
underdogs
I
or
high over the
victims.
entrance, a doorway, a gateway leading down to Amenti. Few there would be with courage to dare it. Few past the portal to
And this
darken.
paragraph
Raised over the
here
passage
basically
a mighty pyramid,
focuses on
using the power that overcomes earth force.
word origins
Deep
and
placed
word
I, horse, house, or chamber. From
development,
it carved I a
etymology,
circular passage, reaching almost to the great
and
summit.
it all talks about
There,
the
apex,
various
said I,
words
the crystal,
related to Sirius, star, the sun,
drawing the force from out of
and
the
also how
ether,
the god names, the Egyptian name of Sirius is Sothis,
Other chambers I
Sothis,
built and left
originated
vacant
as a female
to all
star,
seen
but
and
this
yet hidden within
quite
them
information
hardly
dense,
used to
but very
imitate.
fascinating.
He who
But
encouraged
essentially, the
his
take
dark
home,
realms,
the
let
thing to
him
be understood
purified
is that
first by long fasting.
a lot of the
I am
languages and
sarcophagus of
concepts
stone, my
that
chamber.
seem so
Then
disparate
reveal
and
eyes and mysteries.
so alien to one another are
Soon shall
actually
he follow
all
to where I shall meet him. Even in
have
the darkness
share
of earth
share the
shall
same source,
I, Thoth, Lord of
same
wisdom,
origin.
meet him and hold him.
So Isis is the female aspect of the Trinity, formed by herself.
Built I the great
Osiris
pyramid,
and their
patterned
son
after the
Horus.
pyramid of earth
Specific
force,
pyramids were
burning
temples
eternally,
to
so
Isis
that it
and to
too
Sirius,
might remain
her
for
gateway and
ages.
portal.
In it I built my knowledge of
Connections
magic
between
science,
Sirius,
so that
Orion,
it
and
might be here
Pleiades.
when again I return from
Another
Amenti.
star
I,
connection.
while I sleep in the halls of Amenti, my soul roaming free will incarnate, dwell among men in this
And you
form.
can
or
see the
another.
pyramids,
Emissary on earth,
how
am
they're
I, the
oriented
dweller,
to
delivering
Orion's
his
belt.
commands,
I
so
believe that's
man
the
might
belt,
be lifted.
what they refer to.
Now return I to the halls of Amenti, leaving behind me some of my wisdom,
Sky over Giza in 2500 BC,
the dweller.
the Orion belt,
Lift ever upwards your eyes toward the light.
there,
Surely in time ye are
and how
one,
these all
O
are
master.
oriented with the various portals
Surely by
in the
right
Great
ye are one,
Pyramid
O
of
master.
Giza,
Surely by right.
subterranean chambers, Alpha Draconius, the Beta
Now I
Ursa
depart
Minor,
from ye.
Sirius,
Know
and the
my
Orion belt,
commandments, keep them,
all
and be them,
geometrically
and I will be with you.
precise in their orientation.
Now before me opens the portal.
For the immortal
Go I
roll,
down in the darkness of night.
shaft from King's Chamber points to Iona attack in the belt of
Emerald
Orion.
Tablet 2.
Sirius,
The halls of Amenti.
Udra, God's role at the end of the cycle,
Deep in
which
the earth's heart,
we're at the end of
by
the
the
cycle.
halls of Amenti, far neath the islands of sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead.
God is linked to Isis of the Queen's Chamber during the confluence
of the
age at the
infinite
end of
law.
the cycle, which
Far in a past time,
we are at
lost
the end of
to
the cycle.
space-time. The
Anubis,
children of light look down.
the dog-headed god of death,
See the children
had an
of man
obvious
in their
connection with
bondage,
the dog star.
bound by the force that
Thoth,
came from beyond.
Hermes
Know they that
Trismegistus,
only by
the
freedom
great
from
teacher of
bondage can
humanity,
man ever rise
was
from the
also
earth of the sun.
esoterically connected with Sirius.
Down they descended.
Thoth is one of the
Created
earliest
bodies,
known
taking the
personas
sons
associated
of
with
man as their
mystery
own.
schools and creator of
The
alchemy.
masters of everything said after their forming, we are they who were formed from the space
We
dust,
are they who were
partaking of
formed
light
from the
from
space
infinite
dust,
law, living in the world as children of man,
living in the world as
like
children of
and
men.
yet
Thoth,
unlike the children of
the
men.
great.
Then for a dwelling place far neath the earth's crust, blasted great spaces they by their power,
Here we have
spaces apart from the children of
Thoth
man,
on the far
surrounded them by forces
left,
of power, shielded from
your
harm.
right,
They, the
in
halls
his
of
original ibis-headed
side by
Egyptian
side,
form, and then how the
placed
Greeks
they
adapted him
spaces, fill them with life, and with light
eventually as
from above.
Hermes, but that's in his
Builded they then
Trice,
the halls of
Trice Great,
that they might dwell eternally
Hermes
there,
Trismegistus,
living with life to
Trismegistus.
eternity's
There he
end.
is, Mercury,
30 and 2.
all one and the
there
same
the
entity.
children,
Hermes,
sons
Roman
of
name
light,
Mercury.
come among men,
There's the
seeking to free
Cadosis,
from
messenger
bondage
of
and
God.
darkness those who
Appears
were
in more
bound
myths
by
than
the
any
force
other
from
character.
beyond.
This one
Deep in the halls of
individual.
light, flower, flaming, expanding, driving backward. the
But
night,
there's some conflicted history as
a
to
ray of great
Thoth. But
motives,
I,
light-giving,
without getting into any kind of exopolitics, politics of the invader races and such,
places for each of the
for myself,
children,
Thoth and his emerald tablets have
places
been
they
quite
were bathed in the radiance, filled with
beneficial.
the life from the eternal
If
light.
anything, just
There, time after
the
time,
continued
place they their first
listening and
created
reading of
bodies,
the emerald
so that
tablets
they might be filled
is
with the
I
Spirit.
highly recommend it.
100 years out
It
of
it works on you at very many
the
levels,
life-giving light
and
flamed forth on their
it does it is
quickening, awakening.
a message from the light, I
There in
believe.
the circle from eon to eon. sit
Here
the
we have
great
Hermes,
masters,
messenger of the gods, god of thieves, son of Zeus and Maya,
there in the
wears
halls
winged
of light,
sandals, a
they
winged
place
hat, and has a magic wand, guides dead to the underworld, god of
time after
medicine.
time while their bodies lie sleeping.
The emerald tablets of Thoth
in the bodies of men,
are a cryptic piece of literature
guiding onward and upward,
authored
out
by
of
Hermes
darkness into the light.
Trismegistus, on which the foundations of the Hermetic tradition, alchemy, and virtually all mystery schools are established. The tablets have had significant influence on the world as we know it. As I was just stating,
come from the depths.
I have listened to the readings of the Emerald Tablets. On YouTube, there's several
progress has grown from the darkness.
there's several
lifted himself from the night
versions
into light.
of the Emerald Tablets that a person can listen to. I highly recommend it.
Free of the
It's
flower
about
of
a
light.
2.5 hour long listen.
Guided he then by wisdom
Highly
and
recommend it.
knowledge,
And you can
passes
also
from
read
me,
it. I've shared
Master
the
of life.
Emerald Tablets. I've read
There
them,
you may dwell as one with
made
the
videos.
masters,
I'll probably do it
freely
again. I'm
harmless in the
feeling,
darkness of
I'm
night.
being led to
Seated within the flower
redo
of radiance
the Emerald
sit
Tablets
seven lords from the
and
space-time above us,
and do it in a little
helping
bit more presentable way where it's
guiding
not quite
through
as
infinite wisdom,
chaotic
the
and all
pathway
over the
through
place.
time
But
of the children of men.
here is
Mighty and strange they,
Toth.
veiled with their
And the
pallor,
ibis, the bird head,
all
that's
knowing,
of an
drawing
ibis.
the life force.
To me, that's
Different,
representative
yet one
of
with the children of men.
that part of our brain.
Yet
And the
one
brain
with the children of light.
is has
Custodians and
identifiable
watchers of the force of man's
sections,
bondage,
and
ready
the
to
reptilian
loose when the light has been reached. First,
cortex,
mighty sits the veiled
the
presence,
reptilian
Lord of
part of our
lords,
brain is of
the
course
infinite
related to,
nine over the others,
fight or
whose
flight,
cosmic
very
cycle,
primitive survival
weighing and watching the progress of men.
actions.
Under he sit the
And there are other
lords
parts of the
cycles,
brains
3, 4, 5, and 6, 7,
that are
8,
related to
each
more
with his
higher
own mission,
pursuits, but
each
that's
with
what
his power,
the ibis,
guiding, directing the
because there is a
destiny
part of
man.
the human
Fierce
physiology,
and
the human brain that is
mighty and
identified
bold,
as the bird,
free
sort
of
of the
all
bird
time
brain
and space.
section.
Not of this world
There's
they,
a
yet akin to it,
nice
elder
painting,
brothers they, of the children of men,
very
judging and
complex
weighing,
painting. It
they
seems
with
to
their
be,
wisdom,
there's some,
watching the
seems to be
progress
some
light
reptilian
among men.
work.
There before them was I, led by the
Interesting
dweller,
painting. That is a very
watching
interesting
him
painting. I think
blend
I'm
with
gonna
one from above.
capture that painting.
Then from he came forth a voice saying, Great thou art, Thoth, among children of men.
Great thou art, Thoth,
Free henceforth
among
of the
children.
halls of Amenti, master
The
of
halls
life
of
among
Amenti.
children of men. Taste not of death, except
Taste not
as
of
thou
death.
wilt it. Drink thou of life to
Drink thou
eternity's
of
end.
life. And here is one of the
Forever is life.
depiction of one of the
Thine
actual
taking.
emerald tablets.
Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand.
Now, and
Dwell here or leave here when thou desirest.
I shall tell you the wisdom hidden from man. You are ultimate
Take thou
of
up
all
life in
things.
what
The knowledge
form
of
thou
time
desirest.
of this is forgotten.
Child of the light that has grown among men.
Let me start over. I shall
Choose
tell you
thou
the
thy
wisdom
word,
hidden
for
from
all
man.
souls must
You are
labor,
ultimate of all
never be
things. The
free
knowledge
from
of this
half
is
of your
forgotten. Lost when
One
man
step
was
down
cast
is
into
gained
bondage,
on the long
bound
pathway
and
up.
fettered by the chains of
Infinite
darkness.
now is the mountain of light.
Mighty are they with the forbidden
Step
knowledge,
thou
secretly
takest, but
using their
names
powers,
not.
enslaving
All
and
thy
binding the
progress
souls of man,
lengthens the goal.
drawing others into their
Approach ye
darkness.
ever
Know
through
that the
wisdom,
soul is living in
ever before
bondage,
thee
fettered by
receives
fears that
the
hold
goal.
you thrall.
Free are ye
Only
made
by
free
knowing
of the
you
halls
can
of
overcome it.
to
Only
walk
by
hand
wisdom
in hand
you
with
can
the
be
lords
free.
of the world. One and one purpose, working together, bringers of
I
light to
agree.
the children of men.
Sirius,
And from
like
his throne
goddess
came one of the
Isis,
masters,
was
taking
called the
my
great
hand
provider.
and leading me onward.
The annual
through all
rising
the
of the star of
halls of deep
Sirius,
hidden land.
Sophis, brought
Led he
the
me through the
inundation
halls
of the river
Amenti,
Nile, which in
showing the
turn brought
mysteries that are
fertility
known not
and
to
therefore
man.
wealth to the land of Egypt.
Through the dark
It marked the
passage,
beginning of the
down
Egyptian
he led
Sothic
me to
year.
the hall where sits the dark death. Vast as space lay the great hall before me,
The
walled
sacred
by
Sothic
darkness, but
triangle,
yet filled with light.
the flying disc,
Before me arose a great throne of darkness, veiled on it, seated a
Sophis,
figure
the
of night.
apex.
Darker than darkness sat the great figure, dark with the darkness not of night. Before it then paused the master, speaking the word that brings about life, saying, O master of darkness,
The
guide
Sothic
of the
triangle,
way from
forming the
life into
ancient
life.
hieroglyph
Before thee I bring
for
a sun
Sirius,
of the morning.
Sophis,
Touch him,
was
not ever
constructed
with
by
the
using
power
a
of night.
cord
Call
22
not his
units
flame
long
to the
with
darkness
markers at
of night.
9 and 13
Know him and see
units
him,
from the
one of
start.
our brothers, lifted from
Then,
darkness
with the
into
cord
light.
pulled taut,
Release thou his
these
flame from
markers
its
from the
bondage.
end meeting the beginning, the triangle
let it
denoting
flame
Sophis was
through the
formed as
darkness
the
of
drawing
night.
shows. The base being
Raise
4
down the
units
hand of the
wide and
figure.
each sloping
Forth
side
came a
9
flame
units
that
from a
grew
corner,
clear and
the base
bright.
to the vertex.
Rolled
And
back
4 to
swiftly
9
the curtain of
proportion.
darkness, unveiled the hall from the darkness of night. Then grew in the great space before me
The
flame
dog
after
star,
flame
the
from
star
the
worshipped
veil
in
of night.
Egypt and reverenced by the
Uncounted
occultists, by the
millions
former,
leaped they before me.
because it is
Sun flaming
helical
forth as
rising with
flowers
the
of
sun
fire.
was a sign of the
Others
beneficent
that were the
inundation of the
sheds of
Nile.
radiance,
And by the
glowing
latter, because it is
faintly
mysteriously
in the
associated with Thoth, Hermes,
Some there
god
were
of
that
wisdom and
faded
mercy,
swiftly,
in another
others that
form.
grew from a small spark of
Thus,
light.
Sophis,
Each
Sirius, had and
surrounded
still
by its
has a
own
mystic
dim veil of
and direct
darkness,
influence over the
yet
whole living
flaming with a
heaven,
light that
and is
could never
connected
be
with almost
quenched,
every god and
coming and
goddess.
going like fire
It
from
was
points its
Isis
rim,
in the heaven and
filled
called
vague
Isis
space
Sophis,
with light
for Isis
and with
was
life.
in the constellation of the dog, as is declared on her monuments. Being connected with the pyramid, Sirius was, therefore, connected with the initiations which took place in it. That is from the great occultist, the great person. Remember, occult just simply means hidden, that which is hidden. There should be no negative connotations in your mind for that word. Helena Blavatsky, incredibly brilliant, incredibly powerful. She was a dynamo, this Russian woman. Smoked cigars, drank vodka, but an incredible intellect, incredible spiritual figure. Important, very important. If you don't know who Helena Blavatsky is, then get some knowledge up in you. That was a great person. They brought much knowledge to the world.
Quick to be conquered.
Thoth, aka Hermes Trismegistus, considered to be the great teacher of humanity, known as the architect of the universe, was esoterically connected with the star. It was believed that this being came to Earth from a planet that revolved around Sirius.
Until at last was nothing but light.
Again, I am not trying to stir up any discussions or any of the exopolitics of the invader races. I, as a human, as one who has come from darkness and just barely grasped the light, have found Thoth and his emerald tablets to be of immeasurable value. So please, please leave all of the exopolitics at the entrance to the temple. I am but a temple priest, and I seek only wisdom and light, and only peace. So whether Thoth was responsible for great atrocities with the invader races, I know not. I only know the peace of the words in the emerald tablets. So shall we continue our journey? Leading them onward and upward. The Sothic triangle forming the ancient hieroglyphs for Sirius, Sothis. A light that shall shine among men was constructed by using a cord 22 units long, with markers
Master are ye of your destiny, free to take
from the 4:9 ratio can deduce that the vertex angle is 32.727272 degrees, or roughly 33 degrees. There's that number again, 33. The Sothis triangles seem to be more regular in shape than the bread cones. The bread cones, the pineal gland, quite certain. The Sothic triangle is generally adjacent to an ankh, as seen below.
Preserve my record.
In personal communications, Dr. Philip Callahan has suggested that the pyramid structure and certain cone-topped round towers are open resonance antennas tuned to a resonance frequency of the Earth. In his book, Paramagnetism, Rediscovering Nature's Secret Force of Growth, Dr. Callahan wrote this about the stone towers of Ireland. I had discovered that round towers are indeed high tower ELF radio antenna paramagnetic amplifiers. More astonishing yet, I discovered the ancient Irish monks of the 5th to 9th centuries were rock antenna radio engineers. Most round towers of Ireland are now without floors or ladders. However, I was able to visit the tower on Scattery Island, where the door is at ground level. Inside, I discovered that without even touching my jute saltwater cord to the wall, that at the center there was a 2 to 4 times increase in the strength of the wave.
Do thou more than is commanded of thee.
Do thou more than is commanded of thee.
Follow thou thine heart.
Follow thou thine heart.
These are of no avail if thine heart is weary.
The Dogon tribe have oral traditions mentioning a race people from the Sirius system called the Nomos that visited Earth thousands of years ago. The stories published vary quite a bit in how these beings are described.
The beginning and end of the heart.
The Dogons may have received their info from ancient Egypt. In Dogon tales, it said they were taught by space people that Sirius is not a binary star system, but a trinary star system. The Dogon, of course, of South Africa, of African
Repeat thou
tribal
not extravagant
people.
speech, neither listen thou to it, for it is
Repeat
the
thou
utterance
not
of
extravagant
thine
speech.
equilibrium. Speak thou not of it.
Speak thou not of it.
before thee.
Many
may know
believe that
wisdom.
survivors from the Great Flood
Silence is
and
of great
previous
profit.
advanced civilizations
And
such as
abundance of
Atlantis were
speech
given advanced
profiteth
knowledge by
nothing.
the Atlanteans and our ETs.
Exalt not thine heart.
This
above
can
the children of
explain the
men,
coordinated
lest they be
emergence of
brought
cultures
lower
and their
than those.
similarities globally, such as
If
the
thou be
Mayas
great
and the
among men,
Egyptians.
be honored for knowledge and gentleness.
Be honored for
If
knowledge.
thou seekest
and
to know the
gentleness.
nature of a friend,
What an
answer
incredible,
not his companion, but pass the time
incredible
alone with
painting
him,
that is.
debate
Dimension
with him,
gate to Lemuria.
testing his heart by his words and his bearing. That which goeth into the
What a wonderful,
storehouse
truly
must
wonderful
come forth, and the
cosmos
things
we
that
live
are
in. The
thine must be
Trismegistic
shared
treatise, the
with
virgin
friend.
of the world from Egypt,
Knowledge is
refers
regarded
to
by
the
the
black
fool as
rite,
ignorance,
connected
and the
with
things that
the
are
black
profitable to him
Osiris
are
as the
earth.
highest degree
He liveth in
of
death.
secret initiation
It
possible
is
in the
therefore
ancient
his
Egyptian
food.
religion. It is the ultimate
wise
secret
man
of the
lets
mysteries
his
of
heart
Isis,
overflow,
serious mystery.
but keeps silent his mouth.
Helena Blavatsky, which I mentioned
man,
earlier,
list
was a
to the voice
Russian
of wisdom.
occultist,
Listen to the
philosopher,
voice of light.
and author who
Mysteries
co-founded
there
the
are in the
Theosophical
cosmos that
Society
unveil
in
to build the world
1875,
aright.
the
Let he
esoteric
who
religion
would be
belief
free
system
from the
known as
bonds of
Theosophy,
darkness, first divine the
the
material from
Sirius
the
Mystery
immaterial.
by
The fire
Robert
from the
K.G.
earth.
Temple.
For know ye that
Was
as
Earth
descends to
visited
earth,
by intelligent beings
so also
from a
fire
planet in the
descends
system of
to
the
fire.
star Sirius?
Fire.
Well,
He who knows the
according to
fire
my
that is
spiritual
ready to
mentor,
ascend
Credo
shall
Mutuad,
ascend into
yes,
the eternal fire.
and they are alive
Planet
and well
eternal.
and still informing us
Fire,
in the
the
oceans
inner fire,
from the
is the
depths of
most
our oceans
potent
and
of
the
all force.
forms of
For it
our
overcometh all
dolphin
things
and whale
penetrates
brothers
into
and
all things of
sisters.
the earth.
Great advanced
Man
intellects,
supports himself
consciousness,
only on that
portals
which
of
will
consciousness
exist.
from the Syrian star
So
system.
earth must resist man, else he existeth not. All eyes do not see with the same vision.
All eyes do not
Object
see with the
appears
same
of
vision.
one form and color into a different eye.
The all-seeing eye,
So also the
or
infinite
eye of
fire,
providence,
changing from color to color,
connects
is
to
never
Freemasonry,
the
the
same
Vatican,
from day to day.
and Illuminati.
Thus speak I, Thoth.
Thus speak I, Thoth.
Man is a fire
It
burning
dates
bright
back even
through the
further
night,
into Egyptian
never
initiates.
is quenched in the veil of darkness,
Was
never
the
is
emblem of
quenched
Osiris,
by the veil of
husband
night.
to Isis.
Hark ye, O man, and listen to this wisdom.
Hark ye, O man, and
When
listen to
in
this
name
wisdom.
and form cease, only in consciousness, invisible.
The blazing star in our lodges,
of radiant
we have
bright.
already said, represents
The forms
Sirius,
that he created by
Anubis,
brightening
or
thy
Mercury,
vision are truly
guardian and
fixed
guide of souls.
thy
Our
cause.
ancient English brethren also
is a
considered
star
it an
bound
emblem of the
to a
sun.
body, until in
In the
end
old
he
lectures,
is
they
free
said,
through his strife.
the blazing star of glory in the center refers us
Shall the star
to
within
that
thee
grand
burn
luminary, the
with
sun,
light?
which enlightens
He
the earth
knows the
and by
commencement
its
of
genial
days,
influence dispenses
frees his
blessings to
star
mankind.
from the realms of night.
The blazing star in the
Remember, O
center is
man,
said to be
that
an
all
emblem of
which
divine
exists is
providence
only
and
an
commemorative
of
of
that
the
which
star
is
which
not.
appeared to
Everyone
guide the
has
wise
been
men of the
transparent
east to the
to yet
place of
another
our
place,
Savior's
and
nativity.
thou thyself are not an
He
exception.
goes on to say, the
Consider
blazing
the law
star
of
or glory in the
laws.
center refers us to that
Seek
grand
not
luminary,
that which is
the
not,
sun, which
for
enlightens
such
the earth and
exist
by its
in the
genial
illusions of the
influence
senses.
dispenses blessings to
Wisdom
mankind.
cometh to all her children.
Order
even
of the
as they
Eastern
listen to
Star,
wisdom.
the female
All
version
3
of
ages
Freemasonry,
the light
is named
within.
after Sirius,
Awake, O man.
which rises in the east and is publicly
Even the
taught that
mysteries
the
of
star of
life
the
have I
east
traveled,
led the
seeking
3
and searching for that
magi
which is
to
hidden.
Jesus Christ,
Listen ye,
Jesus
O man,
Christos.
and be wise.
Examination of the
Farneath
symbolism
earth
says this is
crust in the
Sirius,
halls of Amente.
bloody Sirius.
Mysteries
Multiple
I saw
researchers, including one
that
from
are hidden
Harvard,
from men.
note that Ptolemy, Horace,
Oft have I
Seneca, and
journeyed in the
Aratu
hidden passage,
observed
looking
Sirius as
on the
red
light that is life among men.
2,000 years ago.
There neath the
But
flowers of
Sirius
life
is
ever
clearly
living,
blue-white today.
searched I the hearts and the
One
secrets
possible
of man.
explanation is
Found I
Sirius
that
C
man
exists,
is but
a
living
third,
darkness, light of the great
and
fire
what was
is
thought to
hidden
be a
within.
binary is actually a trinary
Before the
system.
lords of hidden Amente
There is an
learned I the
incredible
wisdom
painting there. I
I
like
give
that.
unto
I'm going
man.
to get it. I'm going to
Masters
get
are
that
they
image.
of the great secret wisdom.
Masters are they of the
brought
great
the future
secret
of infinity's
wisdom.
end. 7 are they, the lords of
7
Amente.
are they.
Overlords they, of the
Overlords
children of
they.
morning, sons of the cycles.
We have learned, though,
masters
that
of
7
wisdom.
is
Form
representative
are
of
not
the 7
they as the children of men?
chakras. This can all
3,
be
4,
taken as
5,
allegory,
6,
folks.
7, 8, 9 are the titles of the masters of men.
Oh, is art depicting
Far
Sirius
from the
above the
future,
Great Pyramid.
formless yet forming, came they as teachers for the children of men. Live they
There's
forever,
yet another
yet
symbol.
not of the living, bound not to life, and yet free from death. Rule they
Bound
forever
not to
with
life,
infinite wisdom,
yet free from death.
bound yet not
The
bound
symbol
to the pitfalls of death.
of the Order of the Eastern Star is an
Life they
inverted
have in
star,
them,
similar to the
yet
blazing
life
star of
is
Freemasonry.
not life. Free from all, are the lords of all.
There's quite a
Forth
bit of
from them
information
came
on
forth the
Sirius.
Logos.
In Babylonia,
Instruments
Sirius
they
was known
with
as
power o'er all.
Kakab
Vast is their
Likku,
count,
which means star
yet
of the
hidden their
dog.
souls.
The
Form
Assyrians knew
by
Sirius
no,
as Kalbusumas, the dog of
Three
the
halls
sun.
the key
In
of all
Chaldea, the
creation.
star was called
Creator,
Shisha, or the dog star that leads,
hammer,
and
shredded
also
with
Dushisha, the
binding
director.
souls of the children of men.
The later Persians
Sending
referred to Sirius
darkness,
as Tyr,
binding
meaning
soul
the
force,
arrow.
director of negative to the children of men. For is he who looses the power, Lord he of light.
Canst thou
to the
bring
children
forth
of men.
Mazaroth in his
Light is
season?
his body.
Or canst
Flame
thou
is his
guide
eyes.
Arcturus
Bringer
with
of
his
souls
sons?
to the children of men.
Arcturus.
5 is the master, the Lord of all magic.
Perhaps nowhere has Sirius enjoyed a more regal history than in
6
ancient
is the
Egypt,
Lord of light,
where Sirius was the
the
star
hidden
of
pathway, part of
Queen
the soul
Isis.
of the children of men. 7 is he who is Lord of
Book
the
of
vast,
Job says,
master
can
of
you
space,
bind the chains of the Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion?
waters of progress, weighs and balances
Canst
the journey of man.
thou bring forth
9 is the
Mazaroth,
vast
Sirius,
innocence,
Sirius in
forming
his
and
season?
changing from out of the formless.
Do you know the laws of the heavens?
Meditate
Can
on
you
Sirius,
set their dominion over the
keys,
earth?
though hidden from men.
This is all in the
Reach
Bible,
down,
folks.
O soul of the morning.
Did
Turn
your
thy
Sunday
thoughts
preacher ever
upward to
discuss
light
these
and to life.
hidden mysteries?
Find in the
On a
key
side
of
note, it's
the
blown my
first
mind how much
light of the
disinformation
pathway from
and
life unto
misinformation there is on the topic of
life.
Sirius
Seek ye
and the
wisdom.
stories around it.
Turn thy thoughts
All
inward,
over a star.
close
Maybe
not
there's a
thy
bit more
mind
to it.
to the flower
In the
of life.
controversial book, The Sirius Mystery
Place
by
in thy
Robert
body a
K.G.
thought
Temple,
or
the
picture.
beings mentioned
Think
by the
of rivers
Dogons are
that lead thee to life.
hypothesized to
Clear
have
the
originated
pathway to he
the
who has
systems of the
wisdom.
pharaohs of
Open the
Egypt.
door to the
Yes,
kingdom of
we
light.
pretty much know that.
Pour forth thy
They
flame as
were-
a sun of the morning.
The
Shut out the
pharaohs
darkness
were
and
from
live in the day.
Sirius and the
Take thee, O
Pleiades,
man, as part of thy being.
combination
The
thereof.
7 who are but are not as they
What do
seem.
I know?
Opened, O man,
Epic of
and
Gilgamesh, a great
follow the
testament,
path in the way I
a
have
great,
led.
lots of great information in the Epic of Gilgamesh to be reaped.
Light and life
The
to
journey
children
of
men.
alchemy from
Emerald tablet 4.
untransmuted energies to transmuted philosophical spiritual energies of the golden rays of knowledge, authenticity, authentic
Freely I give
uniqueness.
to thee of my wisdom,
Highly recommend
gathered from the time and
Epic of
space of the
Gilgamesh.
cycle.
The Great
Master of
Pyramid of
mysteries,
Giza,
son
Nike
of the
Khufu,
one,
chops his line to
thought,
rise
teacher of man.
to the rise of Sirius. Chambers found within the
Long
pyramid
time ago, I
are
and my
strategically
child
positioned in reference to
laid the
Sirius.
stars on long
Mythologies of
married
Isis,
nights,
Osiris, and Horus in
dreaming
Egypt, and
mysteries
more in
far above
ancient
man.
Sumer, are based upon this
Then in
Sirius
my heart
connection.
grew there a great longing to conquer the pathway that led to the stars.
There's
Year after year, I sought after wisdom,
look
seeking
at
new
that,
knowledge,
folks.
following the
I would
way,
love to be there.
until at
Check
last
that out.
my soul,
Quantum
in great
physics,
travail, broke from its
Vedic
bondage.
unified consciousness,
Bounded away.
secrets of human aura,
Free was I from the bondage of earth men, free from the body.
Vedic unified
I
consciousness.
flashed
Look at
through
these.
the
These are
night.
incredible
Unlocked
images.
at last for me was the
Incredible.
star space. Free was I from the bondage of night. Now to the end of space sought I wisdom, far beyond knowledge of finite man.
Yeah, just having a little leisurely stroll through the skies this morning, folks. Hope you don't mind.
Strange.
In ancient
beyond
Egypt, the
knowledge
name
were some of
Sirius
planets,
signified
great
its
and
nature as scorching or sparkling. The star was associated with the Egyptian
Yet
gods
found I
Osiris,
in all of
Sopdet,
its
and
beauty.
others. Osiris was an
What can
Egyptian
through
god
and
of life,
among them
death,
as here
fertility, and
among men
rebirth
flashed
of plant
forth
life
my
along the
soul
Nile.
through infinity's beauty. Far through space I flew with my
There's
thoughts.
the
Rested I there on a planet of
Nile
beauty.
River altered pyramid
Streams of
alignment
harmony
is
filled all
intentional
the
to show
air.
the way
Shapes
to the
they
star
were,
of the
moving
gods
in
in the
order,
sky.
great and
So
majestic as
there's
stars
a
in the
top
night,
aerial view,
mounting in harmony,
the Sphinx,
ordered
the
equilibrium,
pyramids,
symbols of the
how they're
cosmic
oriented.
like unto law. Many the stars I passed in my
Pyramid
journey,
bat one, Lower
many the
Egypt,
races
northern
of men
pyramids,
on their
and then over here on
roads,
the right.
some
The
reaching
Sphinx,
high
as Leo
stars of the
decodes
morning,
the star map.
some
It is
falling low
gazing at the
in
key to
blackness of
unlocking
night.
its secret. Orion's
Each and all
belt
of
as
them
a
struggling upward,
cosmic signpost is
gaining
the
the
key to
heights and plumbing
ultimate
the
secrets.
depths.
Follow the 3 stars in a
Times
row
and
to the
realms
star of the
brightness,
gods.
living through darkness.
Look at that.
Gaining
There's Sirius,
the
the
light.
star of the gods.
Know, O man,
The Orion belt.
that light is thine heritage.
Aldo,
Know that darkness is only a veil,
Aldebaran,
sealed in thine heart is
Star of the gods,
waiting the
Pleiades,
moment of freedom to conquer.
Subject Isis, who might have an even closer association with the star Sirius, began as an agricultural deity in Egypt, also closely associated with the Nile.
Yet they were men, using the force that is the foundation of all things. Far in space constructed
Look at that. That's another great image.
drawn by the force that flows
Fascinating
through the
how all that with all that
condensing,
architecture.
coalescing,
Is that Albidos,
the
the city, the necropolis, city of the
outstripping
dead?
in science, they
To weave,
all
bind, or
races,
lie.
mighty in wisdom,
These are hieroglyphics.
sons of the
Quantum
stars.
string intersections.
Long time I paused,
Two of the
watching
common hieroglyphic
saw them
spellings
create from
of
out of the
knit
ether
contain
cities
characters which
gigantic
precisely
and
match
rose
the
gold,
quantum diagrams.
forth from the
Look at this,
primal
folks.
element, base of all matter, the ether far flung. Far in the past, they had conquered the ether, freed themselves.
Considering
from
the
bondage of
cryptography
toil,
has been in use for
formed in
millennia,
their
it is
mind only a
Is it
picture
possible that
and
these
swiftly
stories were
created
intended to capture our hearts and minds and at a deeper
forth
level,
then my soul
reveal
sped
more knowledge of our
throughout
reality?
the cosmos,
To make us want to dig
seeing
deeper
ever
regardless
new
of any
things and all,
controllers?
learning that man is truly space-born, a son of
Whoa.
the sun. a
Awaken,
child
children of the
of
sun.
stars.
It is time.
Know ye, O man, whatever
I'm going to
form
take that as a
ye
great
have,
image, and I'm going
surely it is one with
to
the
end
stars.
this, whatever
The
this session was
lights are
called.
planets revolving around their central
But that
sun.
is an incredible
When ye
photo,
have gained the light
an
of
incredible
all wisdom,
message.
free shall ye be to shine in the ether.
Free shall ye be.
Sons that,
Free
like
shall ye be to shine in the ethers,
were grown into light.
grown into light.
Just as the stars in time lose their brilliance, light passing from them into the great source, so, O man, thy soul passes onward,
Namaste,
leaving
namaskar.
behind the darkness of night. Formed forth ye from the